I'm recording now. Okay. So I guess I will just start off the session with the questions that I always ask. So first of all, like, why did you decide to get the coaching?
Because you're a Giga Chad Ekko player?
Okay. No, okay. So like, I mean, do you have any specific goals or?
Uh, so I used to be a gold Shaco hard stuck player.
Mm,
That was like a few seasons ago. Then I took a break. Now, uh, I just kind of want to get to like probably gold platinum.
mm-hmm.
You know,
And
playing like Ekko,
yeah, you just
pretty much.
started playing Ekko Red this season.
I've tried him out before back when I was like more like a mid laner.
Okay.
So I kind of already knew like how to play Echo. Like obviously not like I'm talking about just like the general what his
Mm-hmm.
moves do and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So did you start like in 2020 or have you played even before then?
I played before then
Oh
as
wait, let
well,
me let
but
me just show my screen real quick. Yeah. Okay. So when did you start?
man, I don't know when I started playing League, man. Like maybe 2016,
Okay.
17.
Okay. So yeah, so your goal is like platinum, I guess. I wouldn't even. I mean, there is no point just setting your goals too low, right? I feel like it's not a good idea. I think it's better to have higher goals and maybe not reach them, but at least have them set high, so you're not limiting yourself. And I think platinum, realistically, reaching platinum is just mostly about fundamentals. So once you understood that, like just seeing your OPG really quickly here, I feel like the past few games, it just seems like something maybe has clicked with you or something because it seems like you
Well,
did a
yeah,
lot here.
because it's more of me just applying what I saw like in your videos and just like keeping my making sure that I'm farming and stuff. You know, watching your other coachings. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm just
good.
trying to like apply it pretty much.
Right. So what do you think your biggest weakness is?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not good enough to carry. I feel like I'm not good enough to carry games sometimes, or I just don't make the right decision. I just don't
Mm-hmm.
know. You
Not
know.
good enough mechanically or decision making
Uh,
wise, as you said,
I
or.
I guess my mechanics can be a little bit better, but probably like decision making wise. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be it. You know, I don't want to blame my teammates, but you know, they are kind of degenerate. But
Yeah, but you
so
gotta accept that, right? Like in this
yeah,
elo,
you
and
know,
you
that
you
it's
should
like
still be
I
able
should
to
be
win
good
games.
enough. I should be good enough to like, carry myself out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you always say. Like I see in your videos, and a
Yeah.
lot of higher level players also say that you should be good enough to just carry yourself out, like regardless of your teammates.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what's the point of blaming teammates? Of course, it makes you feel better for like 5 seconds, and then after that, you're still mad and you still lose the game, right? So
Yeah. So.
there's no point. So, I mean, you said you've watched my other coaching, so do I need to ask you the question with like, what do you think mechanics are, or do you know like the answer that you should give, basically?
uh, no, you should go. Just ask me how you would,
Yeah,
you
like,
know,
what do you think mechanics are then?
well, how do I think Echo works, or I don't
No,
understand.
just like in general, what do you think good? What defines someone having good mechanics?
Good mechanics. Uh, knowing how to proc your passive, knowing what your passive does,
And
knowing,
more general, just not even an echo, just in general, I would say.
yeah.
No, like what do you think then mechanics are?
Mm, mechanics is just, I don't know. Like I don't know how to answer that question. It's
Okay, yeah, okay,
just,
fine. Because what you told me is basically just like knowing how you're passive and that, but that's just such a small part of having good mechanics, right? Like I always say this, it's about there's 10 champions in every single game, and all of those champs have four abilities and a passive, and it's just about playing around all of those abilities correctly, right? Like being able to sidestep abilities and that kind of stuff. And
oh
think
yes,
that's
I
something that's super important that you just have this in your mind actively, right? Because then that's how you will improve mechanically so much. Just really thinking about what is happening in the game, the possibilities, right? I'm sure if you've played since 2016, you probably know all the abilities of every champ, right?
yes, I totally agree.
So
Knowing the abilities of champs
yeah,
is
and
very
then just really
important.
playing around it like actively because a lot of low elo players, I see them, they just they see. I always use the example of Lux because I think that's something I don't know. I see so many times, but Lux Q is such an easy spell to dodge, but you just need to actively play in a way where you set yourself up to be able to dodge it, right? Like move in a way and that kind of stuff. And that's just something a lot of low elo players are missing mechanically, in my opinion, right? Just playing around the enemy's abilities, especially, and just
But
thinking actively about it all the time.
yeah, for
Okay.
me, I know like most of like what the general champions do, but then like these new champions, I'm not too
Mm-hmm.
really familiar. Like
Yeah.
when I came back, I was like, I don't even know.
Which ones are you
Belveth and
talking?
Belveth, the little Yordle that goes mid lane with just like fears. He just fears everybody.
Vex or
You know,
what?
bro, cancer. Anyways,
I mean,
oh wait, can I? Oh, you're recording, right? I can't see that, right?
yeah, you can
Sorry.
say it, it's fine. No, I mean, for
Okay.
example, Vex is, in my opinion, is not a difficult champ to play against as Ekko. Like in my opinion, it surely isn't. It's just about playing around the abilities, right? If you just know what her abilities are, they're super easy to dodge, and they're super easy to bait out as well. So that's like something like a lot of champions that I get told that are like difficult to play against from lower elo players, for example, Warwick or Shaco. Like I
Warwick.
hear that
Oh,
so much, but they're so
Warwick
easy to play
is a
around.
little. Warwick is just a champ. It's just Warwick is just a champ that like I don't know. You just like you have to just like kind of burst him, man. You can't even.
Well, no, you just have to not stay close to him like an idiot. That's the thing, and that's like what
Yeah,
a lot
like you
of
hit
loyal
your
players are
passive and run
doing.
away.
That's
Something
his
that's big
whole
against
kit. That's his
Warwick.
whole kit. The only thing that he can do is just auto attack you, and if you stay too close to him, then he will win. Of course, he will win against like all of the champs in the game, basically. But what you can do as Ekko is just you queue him, and then he won't ever be able to really get onto you. And of course, you know that he has his ult to gap close, but
Yeah,
you have your E to react to that. So the whole time when you see a Warwick on your screen, you just need to have your button on your E and just be ready for him to ult and maybe dodge it, or just move in a way where he can never really ult you and that kind of stuff, right? And that's obviously just one out of 150 champs, but in general, you just need to start playing with big awareness of all the abilities, I guess, in all the games, and it will improve your mechanics a lot. Of course, also part of mechanics is just having like good combos and that kind of stuff, hitting your abilities, of course, right? That's a part of mechanics as well, but
yeah,
it's like the obvious part, right? And the less obvious part is just actually playing around the abilities of the other champs, because there's way more of them in the game, anyways, right? Um, right. So are you using Blitz?
uh, you mean burst? Like, am I
No,
just
no,
trying
no,
to
no,
like?
no. Like Blitz, the app for like jungle timers in game.
Oh, I use Professor,
Okay,
and
so
I
that's
just
also
like
fine. Yeah, so you have jungle timers.
yeah, I do have jungle
Okay,
timers.
because that's very important in my opinion.
Yeah, when I figured that out this season, I was like, oh, this is OP.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, it also it took me like last season or the season before, I think even it took me like from D2 to Masters, just that changed, just because it takes away so much mental capacity, like or like
Yeah, you
so
don't really
much
have to.
mental. You just don't have to think about all that stuff that you usually would
Yeah.
have to keep track of. So it's very good. Um, yeah, I guess you're in your OPGG. I guess in the most recent games, at least there's not too much to talk about because you probably just copied my build on that, right? I would
Uh,
assume.
it was really me. This is kind of just a combination of me trying to figure out how to play Ekko in the jungle because I had never really played him jungle. I always played on like mid lane, and
Yeah.
for me it was like a little bit different because I was just coming back and learning because I was playing a lot of Graves and Rek'Sai, and then they're like completely
Mm-hmm.
different
Yeah.
from Ekko. So I was just kind of learning like how to hit the combos and like the difference like between like Lich Bane and Mashers.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah, I was just kind of learning. So like obviously some games you see I go like on losing streaks and stuff. I was really
Mm-hmm.
just trying to learn, you know. I
Yeah.
was learning the champs. I
Yeah,
was just
that's
learning the
good.
champ
Do you
pretty
care
much.
about your elo a lot, do you think, or not? Because I think you shouldn't really, especially if you're learning a new champ.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why I was like realistically like plat. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I said that because I know that like I work a lot, you know. So
Mm.
you know, I'm just playing. Just you know, I want to at least be able to hit plat, you know, or diamond. You know, that'd be nice. But
Yeah. I think this season I looked at your like we'll look also at the League of Graphs, which I will do in the future because I think it's very interesting. I saw your LP gains, you get like plus 20 LP. It's probably gonna be rough. Like even hitting plat with that is probably gonna be difficult. Although I think if you have winning streaks, you can improve your MMR quite a bit. But yeah, I guess let's just look at like okay. In the recent games, one thing that I noticed is this one here where you built the Lichbane and then you were going to build Nashor's, I guess, as a last item. I think if you go for this build, I think the best last item is Shadow Flame.
Okay.
Because it just gives you the most burst. I don't know if you watched my itemization video.
I
Um,
just watched it. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
watched
said
it.
I said in it right.
At work.
Nashor's is a fine item, of course. It still gives you like 100 AP. It's still a super solid item. But I think just if you have this kind of build where you really it's all about one shotting, then Shadow Flame gives you simply just gives you the most value. And it's a Shadow Flame is probably one of the best AP items overall.
What did Shadow Flame gives you like magic pen?
Yeah, and
Or
also like 100 AP and yeah, it's just very
okay.
good. It's just a really big burst item and overall it usually has one of the highest damage numbers of all the AP items. If you look at the damage, you know you can hover over the item and
Yeah,
usually with Shadow Flame it's like the highest of all the AP items. So it's just kind of a OP item honestly. It just doesn't have a lot of utility. That's why I think it's not a very good second item or whatever for Ekko. Although an Ekko mid you can actually build it as a second item as well. I don't know if I mean you build Zhonya's in some games, but I guess you kind of stopped doing that. So
Yeah, like because I saw what you said that like you
mhm,
should be able to just play without Zanyas and just be a Chad.
yeah, yeah, that's
But then
good.
some games, some games I was just tilted, from
Hmm.
dying so much. So
Yeah,
I built Zanyas because I didn't want to keep dying and inting.
yeah. But what you did like in these games, of course, we don't really need to analyze it because you stopped doing it. But this is really illegal, right? Just building. Also building Natchez first. I'm not a fan at all. I also said that in the video, right? But and then
Yeah,
building Natchez, you even built it before Rocket Belt here, which is insane. But even building it before Rabadons is just you're holding yourself back so hard with your item builds then. But yeah, what you did here is pretty good, and obviously it also worked out really well. I think your CS numbers are fine, but they could definitely be a bit higher. I think especially in games like these where you're hard winning. Okay, I mean you had a lot of kills here, so maybe you're just not focused on farming, but still you should usually have at least 7 then, right? Like because you're just so ahead, you clear the camp so incredibly fast when you have so many items that you don't even need to
yeah,
focus on farming, and you will still hit like 7 to 8 CS in most of those games. So that's definitely something I guess you'll probably we will probably see in game then. You also had a little bit less deaths in these games. Of course, here you had 9,
yeah. That
but
one I had freaking 9 deaths.
yeah. So maybe that's something you'll also improve on. I mean, it's hard to say, right? If there's something that really
I feel like
clicked,
a lot of
then
that is decision making. That's
hmm
why.
it is, of course, yeah. Like deaths have a lot to do with decision making. I think your kills, for example, is good. Like around 9 kills is what most people have on Ekko, and that's good, right? Like I also have around 9. And the deaths, of course, I think the deaths is something I personally am much better at than most people, but that's also something I think that's really what can differentiate you, right? Like just make you better Ekko, just dying less, because I think Ekko's kit is really built around not dying a lot, and people don't really realize that, but it's not about being a KDA player. It's just about his kit is really like his ult is literally about not dying. So it's fine. Like you're not a KDA player just because you have a good KDA with Ekko, right? It's just important to
Yeah.
actually have a good KDA. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the CS is obviously, but it's so hard to say because you've played so many games where you maybe were just trying out stuff on your own. So
Yeah, like a lot of games I was just trying builds, like different
yeah,
builds.
yeah,
And like you go on YouTube and Echo Jungle, there's like so many videos that come up. You just want to try different things, and
hmm
then all your videos as well.
yeah.
So
Okay, so
yeah,
what I really like, what I'm gonna do from now on as well is just look at the League of Graphs. I don't know if you know the website, but it's really cool. They show you so many different statistics of your like your stats compared to other people in your elo, and you can also switch like to maybe master elo or whatever. So this is like from your account. Also, yeah, like I can see the LP against you is like plus 20 is definitely means like your MMR is actually below your rank, which is of course not optimal for climbing. But one thing you can see here is your damage dealt is quite low, right? It's even below for the average silver player. So right, like the blue thing is you. So in a lot of things you're above average compared to other silver silver players, but your damage still, which probably just says you're a bit too passive. I don't know. We will see, I guess. Then, one thing I noticed as well, like I don't know, your gold advantage here is a bit weird. I will just compare it to my like how it looks for me. The farming, like gold advantage for me, for example, is just something that will steadily grow in the game, right? I will, as soon as I start snowballing, I will keep snowballing harder and harder. And for you, it just kind of, you snowball really hard and then you sometimes drop off. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say the reason for that, but
Maybe it's saying I don't know how to close out games. I don't know how to carry.
yeah, maybe
Or
like
like,
yeah. Also, your level advantage dropping off here. Maybe sometimes you throw in the late game.
yeah, that's
Mm,
probably. I mean, I could totally see that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it's obviously if you're just learning a champ and you're really learning the limits and that kind of stuff, it's just normal, right? You will have to, yeah,
yeah,
leads but loses. It even says here, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you still lose quite a lot, probably just because you don't know your limits well or whatever. One thing that's definitely
Definitely.
good here is the aggressive jungler. I also have that. I think because a lot of low elo players, a lot of low elo echoes, they think Echo is not a champ that can get kills in the early game, but that's just super untrue, right? You
You
managed to
gotta play
get
him.
around three
Gotta finesse.
kills. Yeah, he's a super good champ to get kills in the early game. Like after level 3 is a very viable champ for fighting. Uh, One thing I will say, like your duels win rate is pretty low. Like if you look at me, I have like 80%, and it's also against better players, of course. So, but like you having 70%, it also shows just that you probably don't know your limits super well. But as I said, like this is not flame or anything, right? It's just,
No,
I
100%. I'm not.
guess, yeah. One thing, maybe also your kills under enemy turret is much lower. I have like almost doubled it. It probably means you sometimes don't see plays where you could dive the enemy,
Is
right?
this is this for like a certain amount of games or for just my whole account for this season?
This is for all your Echo games
All my
in,
Echo
in
games.
season
Okay.
13, I guess. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and you can, yeah. This there's so many interesting stats you can find here, honestly.
That's pretty cool.
Also, yeah, the next thing that's like super important, and I think this is probably my biggest strength, I guess, is the item completion time. Right? For you, it's a bit above average compared to silver pairs or whatever. But your third item is not like when you look at my item completion. It's first of all, it's pretty good here, even for the first item, but especially the third item. Look like the difference compared to other master players. It's like 2 minutes. Like it really just showed that I managed to snowball my lead so hard, and I think that's something that Echo is super good at, and that's what will really give you the win rate, right? Just managing to really snowball and push your limits and that kind of stuff. So that's definitely something you probably need to improve on. But again, it's all about just knowing your limits and playing the. Obviously, I've played like I've over a million points with all my accounts together, so I simply have played way more. And also the patterns, I guess, is interesting. This is not just for Echo, but um, yeah, you can see all kinds of stuff, right? You can see it on days, like for
That's
example,
crazy. Look at all
yeah.
this stuff.
For me, for example, on Sunday I have like an incredible win rate. I don't know why. See, I have like
Jeez.
85% win rate on Sundays, and like on Tuesday I always lose. But for example, like surrendering, I guess is something. Maybe you should surrender less, right? That's one thing. You surrender 5% more than the average NA player or silver NA player. I don't know. And also, like this is also interesting in my opinion, like the session count thing. Right, damn, me that really sucks. But like some people, I guess some people play better at after they play a lot of games, and some play worse. For me, my peak is like after 4 games, I usually win with like a 80% win rate. For
Yeah,
you,
I feel like
damn.
after a few games, I definitely feel like warmed up. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I can play better.
Yeah, this is also really good stat, I think, for Echo, especially, right? Like the win rate when plus 2 kills ahead just means that you're also pretty decent at snowballing. Then I guess. Yeah, I mean it also even says here, right? So you kind of know your limits to some degree, I guess, but maybe sometimes you just don't have the finesse to close out the games because you're just kind of new still, the champ. Um, yeah, but I definitely recommend everyone also watching this video to just look at your stats here. Like, look at your stats and also your champion stats and just see patterns, right? Like, you can see so much stuff, and it also just helps you to see where you really need to improve. right? Like for example, your objectives was actually pretty good, I would say. I mean, this also, yeah, I mean, this is definitely a deficiency. I mean, you have like half the damage of average Ekko player when you're like to turrets. So maybe some in some games, maybe you should just kill turrets more. Ekko is pretty decent at doing that, right? Just taking towers after he has one or two items. And obviously, killing towers is super valuable for just opening up the map. So maybe that's something you're really not, or it seems like that's something you're not focusing on at all, right? But I guess we will see that. Uh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess we can go in game and you can show me like your jungle clearing abilities and
All right.
just your general mechanics.
Damn, I should have played some games before this session.
Ah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to see if there's like any big problems or whatever with your jungle clearing. Oh no no wait go and practice tool first. Go and practice tool first. Just
Okay.
I just want to see if there's like oh wait actually I probably need to make you louder as well. Can you say something?
Hello, hello.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I hope this is fine.
Okay, practice tool. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see, I can
Okay.
see. Have you done the path thing that I've been doing recently with the Raptor start?
You know what? I haven't played in 2 days, so I just saw
Oh,
your
okay.
video. I just saw that video, and I was gonna try it out, but
Hmm.
we're in the session, so
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like it's not rocket science or anything. It's basically just recall after clearing the camps, and then I feel like
one
this
thing.
pathing is really good.
One thing I wanted to ask is why do you like? I notice a lot of Echo players. Well, in other videos, they start W first, and you start Q. Why
Yeah,
is that?
it's just for the path. When you do the
Okay.
Raptor start, you need to start Q because you will clear it alone, and the Q obviously it's like an AoE ability, and you can hit all the Raptors with it. If you start on any of the buffs, then you start W.
Oh, word! I've been starting Q this whole time.
I mean, yeah, it's not a huge difference, but I think it's the W. It also deals more damage. Like the passive deals more damage to enemies below 30% when you have W skilled. So
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you want me to do in this?
just clear the jungle. Just see. I
Oh,
just want to see. But you need to buy the smite, of course. I mean, I don't even know if I want you to do the raptors clear or not, because of course I generally want just to see. I just generally want to see how you would normally play. Damn, the quality is kind of bad.
my
Did you?
quality.
Yeah, it's super pixelated. Do
Is
you
there a way I can
do you
make
have
it
like
better?
window capture or did you capture your screen? Maybe that helps if you switch it to the other one.
Uh, Stream quality. I can make it. Oh, I could change the resolution. Oh no.
Maybe.
Oh no. I need like Discord Nitro for that.
Yeah, no, but can you like did you share your screen or your application, like the League application? You can switch it there, right? Like, yeah,
Let me see.
yeah, right now it's better, definitely. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you want me to
just
just start
I
again?
mean just do the W start and clear normally, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, just I will make a video about okay, I usually you shouldn't smite the red buff, especially because when you get a leash, then you really don't need to. But also smiting the crux is really helpful for having a good timing with your Q for like okay, we will see, we'll see. Just clear how you would normally do. Yeah, I mean, this is basically the most important part of the clear, right? Just, but if you had used your smite on the crux, then you could have used one more Q basically, or you wouldn't have to wait for your Q to, or well, yeah, you wouldn't have waited. You wouldn't have had to not use your Q for a few seconds, so the big croc dies. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why I usually smite the croc and not the red buff. It just has a little bit better timing. Yeah, I think you should always do the blue first here.
Oh yeah. Okay, do blue first next time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is an argument for doing it this way, I guess. So you have the blue longer, but also you kind of want the blue to respawn faster. I don't know. It's honestly not a huge difference. And also maybe sometimes
Well,
if there's a fight breaking out or whatever, you would rather have the blue buff, you know? If you can't clear the all the camps. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, your clearing is definitely fine. I guess do you think you usually use the EQ combo in fights?
um, yeah, definitely the EQ combo for sure.
Yeah. Or like
Like,
throwing the Q while you're jumping, I mean.
yeah, like if I let's
Yeah, like
see,
just do it on a target dummy.
like talking about that,
Yeah, yeah, kind of like this.
you run away.
Yeah. You can also do it with the W, you know.
uh,
No, yeah, but like E and W while you're Eing forward. You can do wait, go up on the left thing so you can auto refresh cooldowns.
you said I can E and then
You can
what?
EW. You can do the same like EW.
Just EW and then press Q.
No, just EW. Just the combo of EW because then you won't stand still, you know. So
Oh,
while chasing, for
okay,
example,
yeah.
this can be super useful. Yeah, in general, you can just cancel all your animations kind of with each other.
I didn't even know you. Hold up, let me see. Hold up.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I didn't know you could EW actually.
Yeah, okay.
Jesus,
It's good then that you learned
I did
that.
not know that.
Yeah, like see, just imagine you're chasing someone, right? When they're running away and you need to stand still for a second while casting your W. That's such a disadvantage.
Yeah, like for that's actually what I do. Like I've been doing that. Like if I'm chasing somebody and I want to put my W ahead, like I'll literally press W first and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
E. I don't do
Yeah,
it so I've never tried to do it like
yeah,
EW.
yeah.
Man,
It's
that's
very
actually so much
useful.
faster.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I guess just go in game. I think you should just do the normal clear, and as I said, I will make a video about the other clear and how to do it correctly and not make any mistakes there. But in general, it's not very difficult, honestly. It's kind of like a cheater recall for junglers. You just get a free dark seal and then you don't really lose anything for it.
Did we go over the runes?
No,
I think
I
my
mean
runes are fine.
your runes are good. They're
Okay.
exactly the same ones that I also use.
All right.
I mean, I saw you also tried out First Strike, but I think Dark Harvest is better in the
I
current
didn't like
meta.
it. I
Yeah.
didn't like it, bro.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
I tried it for like 2 games or 3 games. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this.
It just it help. I feel like in the current meta you kind of need the help from runes in the early game sometimes to get kills. So yeah, I think like Electrocute is also fine. Honestly, I think like people think you need to take Dark Harvest in the jungle and you can only take Electrocute in lanes, but Electrocute is also completely fine in the jungle. But of course, Dark Harvest can outscale Electrocute because you can stack it infinitely. And also it kind of synergizes with the execute passive of Ekko, right? Because it also executes. And actually, especially against tanky champs, it sometimes really helps having just helps having the extra damage.
I gotta try electrocute more. I've just been
Yeah.
spamming like Dark Harvest.
Yeah, I would say in games where you maybe feel like you can't do much in the early game, then Electrocute can be better. Because you might not be able to stack the Dark Harvest well, but realistically you probably won't really know, right, in most games. Like it's just hard to know. And so much also depends on how the game really plays out. What do you usually ban?
Uh, well, I don't really. I just been banning Kane.
Okay.
Yes, because you ban Kane. You were banning Kane in your videos, so I just started banning
Yeah,
Kane.
yeah. I mean, now I'm banning Jarvan at the moment, but I think Kane is also a very viable ban.
Yeah, Kane is, and actually, I don't even like playing against Kane. He's just so annoying, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Kane is super
he's
annoying.
just so annoying, man. Like,
The
even when I was playing
only
Braves, like, he's just so annoying.
mm,
Like, as a character, I could kill him so many times, and I don't know. Maybe it's just my decision making. Like, he just snowballs as well. Like, he'll just get kills.
yeah, and Kane, I think both forms are pretty good against Ekko. Like the red Kane, you can never really kill, and blue Kane, and he still can one shot you basically. And blue Kane can build such good items against you, like the anti shield item. He can build spell shield and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a very viable ban. Just like some people waste their bans on something like Warwick or whatever, and I think that's definitely not good.
Or some, if there's like a new champ, I'll ban that champ because I don't want them on my team.
Mm, yeah, I mean
Because
you can do that, but
because I don't know if that's toxic, but like some people, they'll play, especially in this healer, they'll play and they don't know how to use the champ, and
yeah,
they'll just like
yeah.
they'll just play a new champ.
Definitely take MR here. They're like full AP. I mean, Yon is like some percentage AP and Zeri as well. So also, I think in general you should take attack speed over double adaptive force.
Oh yeah, okay,
I mean, you're playing with Lichbane, right? But
yeah. I
yeah,
saw you say
both is
one time when
fine.
you play Lich Bane, you just
Yeah, you
double
can.
adaptive.
It's not a huge difference, but I think in general it's probably better in most games. It's just also more consistent, makes it easier to proc your passive and that stuff, having the attack speed. I feel like
Yeah, hundred
sometimes you
percent.
miss out on procking, being able to proc your passive if you don't have the attack speed. Just makes it a little more clunky. And also in the jungle, you auto attack so much, it's more valuable in general
Yeah,
on every
that's
jungler.
that's one thing I've been trying to get used to is like when I go Lich Bane and I don't have like the attack speed. So I gotta kind of have to get used to that because I kind of liked having Nashers, like just having
Mm,
Nashers.
yeah, I think this game's definitely a Lich Bane game.
Yeah, they're like all squishy.
Yeah,
Well,
they're all squishy, and especially like their bot lane is so fast. Like you just will need the movement speed to be able to really do anything against them, and even be able to attack them,
should have a
or
pretty solid
theoretically at
team here.
least. Yeah, I mean you're also pretty AP heavy, but it should be fine. I mean, if there's ever a game where you should build banshees, it's actually this one, but definitely not early. Like if anything, as a last item.
Really, Banshees?
Yeah, yeah, it's not bad. Like especially against Malphite, of course, it's kind of good. His ult, and then just generally because they have so much AP. I actually didn't look. Like, do you usually build Sorks or do you also build Mercs frequently? This is also a Mercs game.
Uh, it depends. It depends.
Mm.
But usually I like to build Sorks. I just like to build
Yeah, I
Sorks.
mean,
I
I
don't
mean
like
the
to.
the baseline boots are Sorks, but I feel like if you need the Mercs, then don't shy away from building them. They're
Yeah,
very
like
very valuable
have
in a
a
lot of
lot of
games.
CC then.
Yeah. Like in this game, for example, the Eve matchup is so much easier with Mercs, in my opinion. Especially because if the charm lasts shorter, then it's just so much harder for her to kill you. And also, just of course, the MR will help you a lot this game. You never buy the potion, or
Oh yeah, I do actually.
yeah, I think I mean on some junglers you don't need to buy it, but I think Ekko you should probably buy it. You're not that healthy early, and sometimes it helps you being able to fight. Do you want me to give you like a lot of tips in game, or do you want me to just let you play mostly and?
Um, I think just let me make my mistakes.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably the better way to go about it.
Yeah. I'll just write down most of the stuff then. Okay. So you're pathing bot. Can you press tab again? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go path bot
Hmm.
pretty much.
I mean, in
But we'll
general, if
see
you're
what.
not sure, I would say it's usually the better choice to path bot. In this game, I mean, all of the lanes are kind of difficult to gank. I would say mid is probably even the best lane to gank, but you'll obviously have to see how the lanes play out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think in the future you should ping your mid laner off from helping you. I think she's too late to lane now. It's not good. Of course, it's nice for you, but it's really not worth.
Okay.
See now the way they die. Well, you need to clear the medium one also, but yeah, the way if you had auto attack the medium one again, then they all die in a way where you can queue them really good, you know. And you don't need to waste any time.
Great.
Okay, well, what's happening with those Kog'Maw?
We should just skip this.
Yeah, I think you should push in the wave with your
Push
Senna.
the wave.
Yeah, you can do pretty well with Ekko.
Ah, oh, I was gonna say something.
Hmm.
Forgot. My bad.
If you did the EQ combo properly there, then you would have been able to at least proc the Dark Harvest. I think you. Oh no, it's fine. It's recall.
Boom, and where is it? Where is it?
Okay. Do you always go in debt for like amp tomes?
What do you mean? Do I always just buy them? Like,
Yeah. Like if you need to go in debt for them, like you did here.
oh, do I go in depth with them?
Mm.
No, I don't.
Because
I don't want
yeah,
to
I
say I
think I
do.
think it's not. I think it's not worth it to go in debt for like amp tomes. They're just not that valuable, you know, and you lose 50 gold for it, of course. So I'm a fan of generally going in depth for items, but I think it should at least be like a blasting wand, like 850 gold item, not a 400 something gold item. Oh, wait, I just noticed I can't see your mouse. That's not that good, but
You can't see my mouse?
yeah, I think it's because you did the application stream, but it's fine. At least the quality is better. I mean, I can see where you're clicking, of course, so it's okay. You should actually ping your Gregors away, but like he's just kind of stealing your gold. Just wait until he's out of range. Well, never mind. Oh, you got it alone. Okay, that's good. Definitely go clear your jungle. Or see if you can evade, yeah. She actually didn't clear, okay. It's good.
Oh, she died? Oh, nice.
Did she
Oh,
die?
no,
No. No,
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 Zillion
but
died.
she didn't clear top set. Yeah, I think you should go away. Malphite might be moving their pinging. Okay. And just go clear your jungle. Like you can never kill him here. If he has ult, then I mean, okay, look what they do, but theoretically you should never be able to kill him. Also, use your smite. You've had like 2 stacks the whole time. But like Malphite with his ult, he can just ult out anytime he wants. Basically, and especially if he's so close to his turret, you should never be able to kill him. You can skill your. Oh no, never mind, never mind. I thought you can put another opponent queue, but you can't.
Just trying to be swag, you know?
No, I mean it's good.
Damn, I think this is gonna be warded, but did she hit something? No.
I think just base here and get your rocket belt. Thing is, like doing it. I don't know if you wanted to do Drake here, but it's like if the enemies are
Yeah.
pushed in, it's kind of risky.
If
Okay, I mean
she
Eve
would
is
have hit,
top, but
if she would have hit something, I would have tried to make a play and then go for drag, but she didn't.
yeah, I think now going for Drake is still fine right now. Now you're much stronger. You spent 2k gold, and your team also started pushing a bit. Maybe you can kill the bot lane before mid also. Just see how the lanes play out. I think one thing you definitely do better than a lot of silver players I've watched is looking at the lanes. It's definitely important.
Guess they want to
And
just go
maybe
for it.
even place the herald somewhere. I
All
mean,
right.
definitely before 40 minutes. It also pressures them.
Oh, everybody's here. It's not.
I think you can kill them.
Oh, damn. Rip.
I think there was like a window where you maybe could have ulted on someone, but I guess it was. Yeah, we will talk about it after.
They're probably doing that. I guess I'll just drop this somewhere. I like to, sometimes I like to just get rift and just drop it immediately, just so I just don't forget to do it.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I
right,
do it
right
as
now,
well.
right now I feel like I forgot to do it. So
Yeah,
like
no,
I'm like
just
rushing.
go mid now. Just go mid, and well, it sucks that the Nivea is dead, of course, but just try to place it there, and try to get the charge off as well, of course.
Oh wait, I ain't gonna do that. Fuck.
And be careful not to die to the Yon here. He's much stronger than you. I think you should just go to your top side and clear it. Or I mean, maybe now take the crap because you're there already, but yeah, it's whatever.
We can come off right here, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, sorry.
Can smite also. You have 2 smite stacks. Maybe you can catch the Malphite then.
He stays.
I mean,
Probably
he's
gonna.
not gonna. Yeah, I think it's too late now. But yeah, definitely catch the wave. I guess. Hmm. I think at this point you can actually recall and just get mercs really quick, because going to your bot side here is gonna take quite a lot of time. Well, you'll have to walk through your whole jungle. That's where you should have started clearing from the Crocs as well. But
You said you want me to get mercs? I'll try
yeah,
mercs.
I think mercs. Scam. Yeah, but go in your bot side. We should check really quick if the crab is up also. Might no, it's not up. So sometimes people don't clear it. You also really need to look bot lane here. You can gank them.
Oh, this one that I did that.
I mean, I don't think you should take the wave, but I mean, or because the Kog'Maw could have gotten it right. Yeah, I think you should have just went to invade right away. I mean, it's fine, I guess now the Senna can maybe even get the tower, so especially because you have bounties, that's good. You'd really need to clear the small ones, they're worth the most. You really
Oh,
need to clear
really?
them, yeah. But you can still throw Q over there, just throw Q over there. They're by far the most valuable. Always clear them.
Yeah. Oh, we could freaking.
I think you should just keep clearing, your bot lanes are really there. You can get the whole side for free here.
Uh,
I mean, that's just the Kog'Maw's mistake. But yeah, the crab is up again and can kind of take it for free. If you can take a crab for free, always do it. It's more valuable than normal camps because it's kind of contested area, you know? Also, since your Kog'Maw died here, I think you need to def bot. So they don't
just
get
take
the
the bot
tower.
wave.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, since you have rocket belt, you can also. Well, no, just take the bot wave. But go from the tower. Don't risk anything. Just take it. Just take it.
I could just like flash onto her.
Yeah, you can E over. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
oh, that's fine.
Damn, I thought my ult would do a lot more damage there.
Yeah, you're a bit weak. Yeah, I mean, your team is kind of getting stumped, but it is definitely a good game to learn from, for sure.
Damn.
I mean, this is probably lost, but you should not have definitely not. Especially not, of course, because we're doing a coaching session, but I also, in general, I would say, don't FF these kind of games.
No, I don't think it's over at all. Not yet, at least. We have a good team comp.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, the Senna is not very good in your team, in my opinion, but and also you're kind of AP heavy.
Ah, rip. I should have flashed.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I've noticed so far also, that you're just not very decisive with your decisions sometimes, right? And now you told me you should have flashed, so you definitely knew, but you didn't decide to actually do it. And there have been some situations where you maybe could have went somewhere, or you're looking somewhere and it just took you a bit too long to really commit to go for it. But we will talk about that after the game also.
I was dead.
You know, you have smite up the whole time, by the way. You can smite. You could have smited the zillion.
Oh, true.
You know, like if you would have smited him, he probably wouldn't have been able to run to the mid lane, and then his team couldn't have helped him as well. Honestly, don't know why the enemies are not doing Nash, but it's just the elo.
Oops. Damn.
I mean, realistically, at this point, you don't win. It's especially against these champs, they're just super hard to kill when they have such an
Yeah.
item advantage. Like shield bow champs, when they're fed, then there's no point. But there's so much that you can learn from this game. It's quite good actually. Second, I will just need to log into an NA account. Mm, mm. Okay, so one thing that I've noticed with every single person that I've coached so far is the W usage also. Like, there's just so many fights where you simply just don't use W. It feels like, I don't know, it's very, it's like very common, I guess, with people that they're not really using the W. And it's super important. That's one reason why Ekko is so good at not dying, is because of the W. It's such a strong spell. Like you can tank so much damage with the W because it's such a massive shield, but you just need to use it, of course, to be able to do it.
Okay.
Wait, what was your name again? Adrian again, mad cause bad. Damn it. I'll share my screen in a second. Um, okay. Okay. You can see my screen, right?
Uh, no.
No, but I started the stream.
Oh, I see it now.
Okay. Okay. So right in the beginning, I guess one thing, the ward that you're placing, I think, is obviously not a huge deal, but it's just kind of useless. And also, if you're placing a ward, I think recalling here is a bit risky because in some games people might be covering here and maybe like in high reels especially. I think it's in the current meta. There's a lot of games where people actually fight level 1, right? And they might collapse on you from like the sides here, or whatever. And depending on the champs, of course, they this can be really scary. So it's just not a good habit to have, I guess, to recall here, right? I think in general, I guess placing a ward here is giving you more than enough information. Against a champ like Eve, you really don't need to place any wards because Eve will never invade you in 1 million years. Like there's no Eve that will ever invade you. The champ just simply can't do it. But I don't know, against champs like Jarvan or Lee Sin or whatever, you can definitely, or you should probably place a ward here. Usually when you're starting red, because then you will see if they're walking here, and you will see it early enough as well. Yeah, so getting the red sweeper here is fine. You can also just not get the red sweeper before your first base, and then you can usually place a ward like around here or whatever when you're recalling, which is not bad for your team. But that's like the really small stuff, of course. One thing you can do if you do this start red, you told me you usually start Q, so you probably just don't know about this. But if you have W, you can place it at 126, and it will,
Yeah.
the W, it lingers for a bit, so you can just walk in it a little bit later. and then you
Okay,
have it
so
up.
place it at 126.
Yeah, and then just
Okay.
don't walk in it right away, but just walk in when the red buff is fully spawned, and it will be stunned, of course. One thing, I guess your spacing is a little bit off here. You're walking around a little bit too much, you know? You have the attack speed, so you can attack a bit more often. You're wasting a little bit of time. Actually, I want to know if this guy, whatever. Yeah, see, here also, one thing I noticed as well is that you're sometimes, you didn't do it here, but you do it in the Raptors in a second. And what you should have done here is attack the small, like the medium one again. You can see my mouse, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you should have attacked the medium one so it also splits up. This is also one thing. The whole game you were standing still for like a split second every now and then. I don't know why. Do you press like S or?
Uh,
It's like a weird habit, I feel like, but I've noticed that like it's a lot of situations where you're just randomly standing still for a second. Obviously, it doesn't really matter, but it's just it's something I noticed, I guess.
I don't know. I
yeah.
never really noticed that.
Okay. What you can do here, Red, with Ekko, the Q, if you throw it from here, around here, you hit all the raptors right away. Right, because it opens up, you know, and then it fills out this whole space. So you should always just throw it from here. And if you clear efficiently, then you usually don't even have the Q up, because you're walking backwards. But then you, obviously, you just auto-attack them, pull them together, and Q. So you hit all of them. What you really did wrong here was just doing this, right? Where you're walking here. So you only hit this small minion with the return Q and none of the others, which is really bad, of course. You definitely need to hit all of them.
Okay.
Especially because now most of them, they don't even have two stacks. And so what you want to do with the raptor so you don't lose a lot of HP is apply the 2 stacks to all of them and then attack the big one first. So the cooldown resets for the passive, and then after you clear you attack the big one, attack as many small ones as you can. I think you can attack like 2 or 3. So they die a little bit quicker and you lose, because the small ones being alive is what loses you the most HP here, right?
Yeah.
In the current meta, it's not a huge deal because honestly, you're really healthy in the jungle overall. See, like it doesn't really matter. You heal a lot from the camps, but yeah, you definitely already wasted a bit of time here. And now what you did here was really, I found really weird. Like first of all, if they're here, what you can do here, if you see, like you were kind of looking at bot, but not really. You were definitely planning to go bot, right? Because you cleared the blue here. But if you do this, I think what you should do is just, when you're rocking across mid lane, look at the lane, like really look at it, right? Just see the HP, which is not something you did. You didn't really have info on what happened on their bot lane, which is something you definitely need if you are looking to gank a lane. Because how are you gonna make the right decisions to gank a lane if you don't even know, right? If your bot lane is on 1 HP and they're full HP, then probably not a good idea to gank either way, right? And if you're already walking there, you're wasting a lot of time. But overall, if you want to go there, what you need to do is, or what you should do is just walk here, take the blast plant. It doesn't matter if you take it over here or here, but take the blast plant and then walk right away. Don't clear the blue first. Like in this scenario, see what happens here. Okay, just imagine you walked here right away without clearing the blue. Let's imagine like in 5 seconds maybe, or like 6-7 seconds you could have been here. And the gank timing would have been so much better.
Okay.
See, like, because now what you did here, I mean, it was okay, but the thing is, first of all, you don't get a level up here. So the blue, it basically doesn't make you stronger. It gives you 10 ability haste and that's it. It does, like 10 ability haste in the early, it doesn't matter at all. It's not gonna change anything in the outcome of the red buff does matter, right? It gives you some slow and that stuff. So that's good for fighting in the early, but the blue buff, it just doesn't matter. So clearing this here, like either you clear the whole site, or you don't clear any of it at all, in my opinion, if you want to go for a bot gank. So
Okay.
now your timing is a little bit off. So I mean, they were so much further in front, you know. You still get the kills, of course, here because it's a low elo game, but in higher elo games, this will be warded 100% now at this timing. Anyway, like even before usually nowadays, but like this would never work in a higher elo game. This kind of gank, never ever, really. And even now the timing is just, if they had reacted a bit better and not eat in here and whatever, they could have ran away because they're just too far away here and you don't really have any good gank setup on bot lane. So just, as I said, right, just imagine you were on... You could have been bot already now, right? You could have been bot and they were... If any enemies are above this lane, they're usually dead with Ekko. Right? They just won't be able to run away. You can place the W in the path and then they don't really have any... Or at least they need to use their sums. Of course, here it kind of worked out because, well, they just griefed and they went in right as you were there and they just didn't expect you. But, yeah. Okay, so let's see how you played this fight. I guess you didn't have W right away, but... yeah, definitely place the W, like now place the W, before going out of the brush, definitely place the W. Okay, you did that. And I think usually place it more in their path. I think this W is actually fine, but later on in the game I wrote down in some Ws, either you didn't use them at all when you could have really placed them in the path, or you didn't really place them well in the path. Here, like, usually, especially the Cillian is super overextended, he's 100% dead, and the... Wait, when did she flash? Nah, it's just bugged, she didn't flash. Yeah, if she had good reaction, she would have... She would have flashed more towards here also, I don't know. It's a bit weird how this plays out, but... you didn't use the EQ combo here as well. Of course the Zeri flashed away. But yeah, I mean, this was honestly fine, right? No huge mistakes, you got both of the kills. Here I told you to shove it in, right? So definitely if you need to shove the wave in, the reason you need to do it is, see, their bot lane is dead, they just need to walk out of the base. So of course you want your minions to die to the tower, right?
Yeah.
Because then they don't get it. But that's why it's super important to just shove it in right away, because in the early game they're already up again, right? They're already starting to walk to their lane again. So being indecisive here can cost you quite a bit, you know, and it can also cost your laners quite a bit. But in general, Ekko is very good at shoving in waves, so in situations like these, always just shove it in. And I mean, let's see, they're obviously a little bit fast, so they don't lose all of the minions here, but yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't even know if shoving in is such a good idea here. They're super fast, I just noticed. But yeah, I mean, they're losing some minions. And also the way this wave, it will stack up here and then it will shove into your lane, so that's good. One thing that's happening here, of course, is that your bot set is up the whole time. And, I mean, I think you're level 4 because... Are you gonna get level 4 because you got bot XP? I'm not sure, but... In general, you need to clear your whole jungle to be level 4, of course. And the first crab also, you know that the first crab, it only gives like 20% of the XP that the other crabs give, right?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
That's why it's smaller. Yeah, they changed that at some point because the crabs were like too valuable and everyone was always like deciding the game at level 3 basically. So they changed that. The first crab, like if you need to give it, in a lot of situations it's not a huge problem to give it. Okay, you actually hit level 4 here. Like, hitting level spikes is super important. Like, you look at your XP in a lot of situations. It makes a difference, especially in the early game. It's so many base stats. Let's see how many base stats do you even gain here. You gain like 80 HP, you gain some resistances. It just makes a difference, really. It does. So here, one thing here is... See, if you would have used the... First of all, here your W is not placed in his path. You could have placed it much further behind him. See, like, there's no world in which the Yone stays here, especially if he has his 2 Qs up. So you know he has dash, right? The thing about playing around enemies' abilities.
Yeah.
And then, so you know his range, first of all, like, if he reacts to you, then his range with his Q is probably around, like, here or something, he can dash. So, and then he can, of course, also walk. So your W should at least be placed around here or whatever. Of course, he can always dash out to the top, and you will never catch him here. Honestly, like, realistically, you should just know that you can never kill the Yone here. But, of course, he's kind of overextended, so you can get the Dark Harvest stack here. But the reason you didn't get it is because you did this, right? You did E and then Q, and it was just kind of slow. If you did the EQ combo that we talked about in the beginning, then you just jump on him and you're able to proc the passive right away, you know? And now he's just too fast and he's just running away from you. You can't proc the passive and anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you had a lot of gold here. I think you still... I didn't say anything anyway. I think you still definitely should have cleared your bot set here, you know? Because the reason is also that your camps are still level 1, you want them to respawn. So they give more XP, they give more gold and that kind of stuff. Now your bot set, it has been up for the whole game. And you were already there, you know? You wouldn't have you wouldn't have used a lot of time here to clear them. And maybe even if you cleared here and here, you could have even ganked bot again. Well, probably not because it's worth it, but yeah. This way you're just... These kind of reasons are why you're not hitting those better CS numbers, right? Like, this is why you had like around 6 CS per minute this game. Just leaving those camps up for no reason. These two camps are almost as much as a... They're like 2/3 of a kill in gold. Right? Would you just throw away a kill if you got it handed to you? No, right? And that's
Nope.
that's what you really gotta think about with your jungle. Like, clearing your whole side of a jungle is basically a kill in gold. And I think that's some people... That's why a lot of people undervalue their jungle, but it's super important to consistently clear it, because the jungle is something you can always rely on, you know? And that's why Ekko's best rule is also jungle, because you can always rely to reliably get the gold from your jungle camps, because they will always spawn. And that's why you... But that's also why you need to clear them, so they respawn and you can get the gold again and again, you know? Of course, the kills you should see more as a bonus, in my opinion, with Ekko. I mean, in the current meta, it's definitely a very aggressive meta, so you need to also play around getting kills, but still you need to jungle as well, especially when it's free, right? Like when you don't even really have anything else to do, as you had, for example, when you were recalling there. Yeah, also, as I said, with I think you went in depth here for the Tome. I think that's not worth it. I think if anything, right, because you lose 50 gold when you go out of base, so if anything, it should at least be a Blasting Wand or any other item above 850 gold. But it's very dependent on the game set, in my opinion, if you should go. I think the more ahead you are, the better it is to go in depth, because it's easier to just make it up again, you know? Like, it just snowballs you harder and harder. But, yeah, like, for full item completions, you should always go. But for components, for components like a Blasting Wand or whatever, you should usually just do it when you're a bit ahead, in my opinion. See, like, yeah, this was a bit awkward here, I guess, the game set. There's not really much you can do. I think what I personally would have done, even though it wouldn't have gotten me anything, I would have just checked here to see if this is up. Because there's not really anything to do in mid, right? The Yon's not there.
Yeah.
Also, he's level
It
6.
was an awkward time.
Yeah, he's level 6, so he can always ult out. He still has flash. I mean, of course, you might not really know that, but you should assume that he has flash if it's not pinged. So it's very hard to just gank him here. So yeah, just in this second, just check. You need to go up until here, whatever you see. If there's a small one, with Ekko you can invade it really well. I mean, the crab is spawning, which is good. Just take the crab. But bot is of course kind of hard to gank here. Although yeah, here I think you were very indecisive. You should have ran bot now, like much quicker.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like,
okay, I
I
guess
think I
you
gotta
are, but and again, you're Eing on, like you're just Eing too early here. You should never E until you're able to get in range. So you can just do the EQ combo. See, also yeah, place the W. You can place the W a little bit earlier. It has more range. Like you can, from here, I guess from here or whatever, you could place it here. And it's likely that the Zeri will run away. She doesn't have E either, so she can't even go over the wall or anything. Yeah, this W is not very well placed, because just think about it, just be in the head of the Zeri. Would you ever just randomly walk here? No, you're just running towards your tower. So, in general, place your Ws between the tower and the enemies when ganking like this. And then yeah, you're Eing. So now you don't have E, and you can't really see, like your E ran out. You could have, I think if you just kept running. Let's see. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, like this small step maybe costs you a little bit of time, but not a huge deal. Yeah, like don't E. Like this E is super wasted. Just W here. Hope that you can slow them with the W, and then EQ on them. I think you could have killed the Zeri here for sure with that. I mean, of course she still dies, but the Senna gets the kill, which is of course not optimal. I think here, I don't know if you should shove the wave because the Zillion's still alive. Yeah, but this wave set is a bit awkward. Maybe you should have helped shove, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Honestly, how much gold do you have? Yeah, this just sucks a bit because your top set got invaded and you don't really have a lot of gold to get anything. Okay, this is also a general tip for ganking mid. Never gank through the brush here. You can always walk here. Always walk this path, and even if this is worded, they won't spot you. There's like a small dark area here that they won't see you if you just walk here. And also, of course, you're behind the enemy then, right? So you have an advantage. You don't want you never want to flank people from the same line. You want to flank them from behind because then you're cutting off their way, you know? So if what happens here is just that he can just run away. Basically, if you walk out of this brush, you're never fast enough to really kill him. Also, I think if you're looking to gank here, see, like, now he queues in, now is the time you should place your W here, basically, and then go in. Because he needs to do 2 Qs. Like, that's also playing around his abilities, of course, right? He will need to Q a minion twice again to be able to have a dash again. So now is really when you should, if you're ever really looking to gank mid, now is the time. And you're not really doing that. You're just pinging to go in now, but it's... Yeah, like...
I really wanted Ninja to just put a wall up. But
yeah, but the wall is not really doing enough, right, for the own. He also still is old. Overall, I think you should just know your limits here and know that you can never kill him. It just won't happen. If anything, you get his ult, and that's not. I mean, that's fine. Of course, it helps your Nivea from not dying. But overall, like all this time that you're chasing him here, these like 10-15 seconds are just completely wasted. Alright, like, you should just know that you won't catch him. Here I think you should clear your jungle first, honestly. I mean, getting the Herald for free is definitely good, for sure, but it's... In higher elos, this would be risky, 100%. Like, the Yone is stronger than the Nivea, and I mean, he doesn't really have Prio now, so... It's not that risky. Also, now you see the Eve bot, so it's fine. But overall, I think you should always just... Especially because you're so close to level 6, right? If you're doing something that's contested, like the Herald, at least get level 6 if it's available. Level 6 makes you so much safer. And also, of course, if you clear your camps first, they will respawn faster, you know, for the next time we reset and that kind of stuff. Right, like, that's one thing that you're really missing a lot. Like, just clear the camps so they can respawn. That's the mindset you should have. I guess it was worded that's why the Malphite was kind of moving. Interesting, whatever the reason for this ward was, pretty random, to be honest, but yeah, like I told you to go away here because the Greg is pinged. I think the Malphite can definitely heal you, I guess, if the Yone would be there, but I guess he wasn't there. I think maybe you could have even done something there, but at the same time your whole jungle's up as well, so your jungle is the one that you need to clear so it can respawn, and that's something you're not doing the whole game, basically, and that's why you're not really able to get fed, because you're not focusing on your own jungle nearly enough. Here I also told you, right, you just simply can't kill him. See, like, he's so close to his tower, his ult range is, what, from here until here or something? If this Malphite is not a complete idiot, he will just ult out. Like, maybe okay, it's in silver or whatever, maybe he is an idiot. He might misplay, he might ult in at a bad time or whatever. I guess he ulted in now, but... See, like I feel like these are the kind of things you shouldn't rely on, because at some point they will just stop happening, right? At a certain elo. I think also here the next thing you should look for is the crab, I guess. Although it is, well, maybe not, like, because of the Malphite, because of like the Gragas being forced off and the Eve is here, but in general, when you're on the side where the crab is and it's spawning, right, you see on the map, you always see the yellow. And you should usually try to contest it. Not even contest it, because a lot of times, especially in low elo, it will simply be uncontested and you can just take it for free. Right, and that's just something that will get you ahead, because it's a camp that won't be available to the enemy. Up until this point, you're still doing pretty well, right? You're even ahead on the Eve. You're just kind of not able to snowball it, I guess, from this point.
Yeah, just couldn't snowball.
Mm-hmm. Mm, I don't know. I mean, this bot lane is just pretty hard to gank in general. I think now you're trying to gank them here, right? Let's see what would happen. I
Just
don't
trying to see
remember.
what they do.
Yeah, I think at this point maybe you
They're
could have
warded.
done the Drake, but I told you, right? It's a bit risky because the Yone is quite strong. Yeah, and see the bot lane is shoved in here, so your bot lane will simply be like slower, right? If they see you starting Dragon, they also have it warded, so yeah. I think what you could have done here, actually, I didn't really think about that in game, but now I see it. I think what if you're looking to do these kind of plays where you're going to the same side again, where you're recalling, especially then, doing lane ganks is a really good idea, right? Just coming out of base, just going in this brush, especially because I think you saw them ward here, right? You know this is warded, so just run here. And you're looking to do the Drake, so ideally you're able to kill the bot lane here, so it's just free. And I think if you just run in here and get up a successful gank, then that would have been very good for the game. Let's see what happens. I think you just start the Drake or something, which is definitely not good when the Yone is moving in here, right? Like, they have a lot of pressure. And the Eve also had time to reset. Yeah, I think if you had pinged for a lane gank here and your lane stayed there, the Zeri is quite low, so I think you could have probably killed her. Right, like just go in a brush here, wait a bit, see how they move usually, and also sweep, of course, right? Okay, you don't have a sweeper because you have the Herald, which is a bit annoying here, but in general, if you're doing a lane gank, always sweep, right? You don't want to waste any time if you're spotted, or even maybe the enemies will collapse on you if you're spotted for too long. But I think this could have been very successful here. Just going in the brush, placing a W behind them or whatever, or waiting on them to engage, and then just kill them, and then you have a free Drake. Now what happened here? This was kind of where you
This
really
is where the game
lost
ended.
kind of lost the game, honestly. Yeah. Also, I think using the E on the Drake here was a bit bad because I mean, up until this point, you didn't really have the info that the Yone was in here, and you also didn't have the info on the Eve, of course, but. In general, if the Drake is not completely uncontested, you shouldn't use any important abilities like the E or W on the Drake. Like, you can use your Q, but like if you had your E here, see, like now you see them moving in. Now place a W here and E over, and you can probably win this fight even 3v4 because yeah, like the Zeri is kind of low and she will move in the W. Okay, I mean they see of course that. It's worded. They see you cast the W, but still they probably won't react properly. Just place the W here. Yeah, like this W is pretty worthless, honestly. Right? Like who's gonna? I mean, it's good that you at least use it at all, so you get the shield, but you're never gonna stun anyone here, right? So in this kind of situation, definitely place the W more towards the enemies, and then if you had E up, which you sadly don't, but you should have. Then you can E over and at least you will also zone these guys away, right? So they can't attack your team. The Yone will still probably be a problem, but still. Like, now you're kind of just not able to do anything this fight. Also now here, I mean, the Yone is just kind of strong. I don't even think you can kill him. Yeah, this was it just played out quite bad from the beginning. It just... Yeah, they just collapsed on you pretty well, and then you didn't have all the abilities up you needed. I guess it just wasn't a good call to do the Drake when all of them are up, right? It never is really, or in most of the time it isn't. At least not if you're super ahead. Yeah, and also what I said again, right? One thing you could have done is place the Herald on bot. First of all for the plates, but also because then their bot lane is forced to stay there, right? They need to at least clear the Herald before they can move. So it just gives some pressure. And it helps you be able to have the numbers advantage at the Drake, of course. Then here, when you're starting to clear, always clear from the Crux, right? Like, because then, see, now what you're doing is walk here, 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 and then where are you going, you know? Your bot set is up, so you want to go there, but you'll just walk all this way back for no reason when you could have just went here from base, walk here, 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 and it's just so much better, right? So unless you're looking to do like a top gank here, which you're just usually not, right? It's so hard to, if your whole jungle is up and you're not looking to do a top gank, then like first of all, if you're looking to do a top gank, you will do it before clearing the jungle, right? If you see they're fighting or whatever, they're low, they haven't been able to base, then you just walk out of base, gank top, and then start clearing your jungle. So there's never any scenario where you want to clear here, in my opinion. Maybe if you want to do Herald, but even then you can still do this, and go to Herald, and it's the same, you know? Just get into the habit of always starting to clear from here and always from the grump as well.
Okay.
I guess in on bot lane it's a bit different because here there are definitely more scenarios where you want to do wolves, blue, grump, and then into bot gank. But it's because of the shape of the map, you know? Like walking down here and here it's just a bit faster than doing this, and if you're here it's still a pretty awkward way to walk top, you know? Especially because this brush is often warded. So yeah. Like this is something you just generally never want to do. Actually, now you wanted to place the herald as well because it was running out, right? The way I would have done is definitely just go here and place it right away. And did it even get off charge? I don't know what you did there with the EW, but
Yeah, I just like misclick.
I am. Okay, I think it even gets off the charge, but yeah, it could have dealt more damage if you're able to defend it a bit from the own. See, now this is just kind of awkward. The Malphite is also quite low. Yeah, I don't think you could have caught him. I don't even know if going top here was worth it for the 3 minions and showing that you're here, but I guess they kind of knew you were in this area anyways because you placed the herald a second ago. Yeah, and see now it's exactly what I told you, right? That you're here and you don't really want to be here. Right,
Yeah.
so I just told you to recall because you had the gold for the boots, and the boots are, in my opinion, quite valuable in this game. But obviously, if you just had cleared from here to here, then you should have definitely just kept clearing, and maybe it could have helped your bot lane. Especially see how low the bot lane is. You probably, if you were at the right time, like it just doing this kind of stuff made you be at the wrong place in the wrong time. You know, you could have been bot when you would have just cleared towards the bot side, and it would have probably helped you a lot in this game. Again, now here you're just, I mean, see, for example, here I think you didn't look bot once. That's something that I'm noticing. I mean, in this situation, you didn't look bot, you didn't know that this ceiling was super low. So, actually here again would have been a scenario where you could have went for a lane gank easily, if this guy is super low, or maybe even go for a dive. Is also definitely a possibility if this guy is super low. Of course, it's a Zillion, he has his ult, so diving a Zillion is not super fun, but overall, like, if someone is super low, you can dive very easily with Ekko in general. Or just look for a lane gank, as I said. If you're going out of the base, always try to see if you can just walk into a lane and gank them. Because lane brushes, especially on top lane, lane brushes are basically never warded, and on bot lane, usually it's mostly the middle ward, right? So you can at least go in here and you will just sweep it, so you can see if it's warded or not, and if it's warded, then okay, you wasted some time, but at least you tried to get something done. Right, and it will just happen, but it's better than not doing it at all. So here, this is actually a scenario where maybe you could clear from wolves, blue, grump, and then go bot, but you just weren't looking bot at all in this scenario, so you didn't really even know if you can gank them. And that's of course why it's so important. I think you even get something here, right? Because they fight and they're really low, but... here you didn't place your W at all. This was where I also wrote it down, right? At this point, when you're here, you place the W in their path 100% every time. But of course you still get them because they're just super low, but in general, just... Even if they're low, just place the W, right? You don't know if they maybe have sums or whatever that you... that will keep them healthier or whatever, you know, this kind of stuff. Just use it. It doesn't really cost you anything. And also just get into the habit of using your W. As I said, right, don't take the wave here. Just go jungle, because your Kog'Maw is up again, he will catch this wave. So you're kind of just... Like, some people, he probably didn't even notice, but like, some people would really get tilted for doing that. And of course, you have your jungle to farm, they have your lanes. As I said, of course, here the small lanes are super important. See, let's just see how much gold you got from the big one. 15, 20, 10, and all the small ones, each one gives like 13. See, like all of these small ones give 13, so you're not even, you're getting like 30% of the gold you could, or even less. And I don't know how much XP, but so that's why you always really need to focus the small ones. They're the most important ones. But they don't respawn right away, so you can still throw the Q and you still get most of them. But still, like, that's definitely something you need to be aware of. I guess, yeah, your Kog'Maw was just kind of trolling here. I don't think you could have helped him. You're just not that strong either. I mean, maybe, but maybe you could have helped him to not die, but then... It's just the Kog'Maw trolling, honestly. There's not much you can do. See, you're standing still again a little bit. Yeah, here you're also not sure. I don't know if you were thinking about going over here. I think going over here would have been a huge mistake. You definitely can't kill both of them. Like, they're full health, basically. They have both their ults up, they have all the sums. There's no world in which you can ever kill them with these items. So all you need to do is just def the tower here. One thing you can generally do is, if you have the rocket belt, of course, you can place the W here, E over this wall, and then rocket belt into the range, and often you will get a stun. I mean, against Zeri it's kind of difficult, she can E, but overall this is a good engage angle you can often get. You definitely don't kill them here because she has shield bow, but if she wasn't super strong, then that's a very good engage angle. But now you're just kind of indecisive again, so they get a lot of tower damage. Yeah, see, like, I don't know, there's no reason to really go on them here. You just don't kill them, and you missed the cannon as well for that. And there you got a lot of tower damage. I think you should have just cleared it normally here. Just don't let them damage the tower so much and get the gold from the minions. There's just no real point to trade with them here. Your ult definitely didn't deal a lot of damage here. It's just because she's so ahead. Right. But I think at this point you should have just... Yeah, I mean, you should have also just pinged your team to run away. You don't win any fights here. But of course, as I said, like, I mean, I told you, right, the game is over here. You still shouldn't have F. And you said the game is not over, but... Realistically, it just is over, right? Like, look at all of their champs are super enabled. They have items that are really hard to shut down. So, and also they have really strong champs like Malphite and Zeri that are just, when they're enabled and you're so behind, like your whole team is super behind. You're still doing okay. You're actually not even that behind on the Eve, surprisingly, but everyone else is super behind. So this game, realistically, it is just over. But of course, it's still a good mentality to not have F. Yeah, here we talked about it already, right? You even knew you had to flash there to live. You know. But it's just one, like... yeah, as soon as you see this... I mean, maybe you could have just eat over this wall, actually. And then you didn't have to flash. Let's see. I think you could have. Probably... Maybe they could have followed you with flash, but... Your Malphite didn't even have ult. Yeah, you can just E over the wall here. As soon as you see the heart, you know that you need to run away. Right, especially because the Eve is giga fat. So just E over the wall here, and then you simply don't die, and it's fine. But you just E in a straight line so they can follow you easily. And then you would have had to flash, but yeah, at this point it doesn't even matter. Is there anything else interesting? mean, there's not really much you can do against the Malphite here. He's full HP, he has ult. Ah, yeah, here, I said it as well, right? Like, this Zillion is definitely dead here, actually. He's also alone, like, his team is not even there yet. See, if you do the... First of all, you know the rocket build combo as well? With the EQ rocket build, if you do it really fast?
I'm just not very fluid with it, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really matter here, honestly, if you do it fluidly or not. Overall, it's fine. Just, if you would have smited him here, right, he's slowed, first of all, and then you can also auto-attack him, so you would have died here right away. And now what happens is just he's able to walk so much further, his team is able to... Right, just smite him right away here. Then he's slowed as well, he probably dies around here, and maybe you can get him. But it's like, yeah, at this point, it definitely wouldn't have made a difference, but of course I'm still gonna tell you. Yeah, I don't think I wrote anything else down. I don't know if there's anything else happening. If you're down 10k gold at 20 minutes, then the enemies really have to throw very, very, very hard for you to lose. Realistically, like, if the enemies were a bit better, they would have done Nash here for sure. Especially with a team like Yone, Zeri, Eve. Like, these champs clear the Nash super fast, especially if they're this fed. Like, look at the Yone, he already has IE and field bow and everything. So, they probably cleared in like 10 seconds or whatever. But they don't know that, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you were like killed or anything here, but that rocket belt, of course, was also... See, again, you're just kind of standing still, but... That rocket belt was just kind of useless, I guess. But in this scenario, you just can't kill anyone. So...
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But we were so far behind, I was like, you know, desperate,
Yeah.
you know, gotta make a play or something, but...
Yeah, of course, I understand,
Yeah.
but...
You know...
It's not happening. not if they have these items.
Gotta keep the dream alive, man.
No. Damn, they have no fucking sweepers. I just noticed that. It's funny. Yeah. But I think most of this came down to the fact that you were not... like, the clearing, the biggest problem with the clearing was not even that you didn't have enough farm, but it was more that you were not at the right place at the right time because of the way you did the clears, you know? Like, as I said, in the one scenario where you were just walking top because of your pathing, when you should have been walking towards bot, and then maybe you could have killed the bot lane. And that kind of stuff, it happened a lot because it just all snowballs, you know? When you start working in the wrong direction from the beginning, then you're kind of fucked for the next 30 seconds to 1 minute because you're just at the wrong side of the map, basically. Yeah. Of course, this was like a lot of things that I told you, so I'm definitely gonna upload the video to YouTube, if that's fine with you, of course.
Yeah,
So
fine.
you can watch it again if you want. Do you have any questions, I guess?
I mean, you definitely said a lot of things, so...
Mhm.
No, not really. I learned. I don't think I really have that many questions that I can
Okay.
think of right now, you know, 'cause we kind of just like had like a whole session, so...
Yeah, I guess I can show you some stuff, like the engage angles, for example,
Okay.
that you can use, or that you could have used in some situations. A second. Yeah, like for example, the engage angle on bot lane there that I think is super good, you could have used. And then also just the combos, maybe. I mean, I think you know the combos, right? But just get into the habit of using them in game. I think is a good idea. Even you might fuck them up the first couple of times, but how else are you gonna learn them, right? If you're not even doing them.
Yeah.
So you need
I
to
just gotta
start
get more
doing them at
fluid
some
with it.
point. Yeah, like they're not that difficult, right? Ekko is not like the most mechanically difficult champ, but there's definitely levels to it. I think people underestimated for a long time. I think people thought Ekko was a champ with not a very high skill ceiling, but I definitely disagree. I think especially the passive usage is something that that can really take your game to the next level. Because if you use your passive well, then the enemies basically can't attack you, right? You can just permanently space out of their way because of your movement speed, and then run at them again. And like play around your abilities as well. That's super important. And use your abilities, right? The W usage is such a small big thing that you weren't really doing very effectively. Okay, wait. See, like this angle. This angle here, see, like first of all, the W range. See, most of the enemies, they will walk until here. Of course, they need to because they want to attack the tower. And then what you can do is just you place a W here, you E over rocket belt, and then you can E on them, usually with the auto, and you will stun them oftentimes. Of course, in this scenario, like in this game, you definitely wouldn't have killed them because the shield bomb, whatever. But still, this is a very potent engage angle. You can on top, it's even better usually because, of course, the enemy is alone, and also top laners are often melee, so they will stand here. Right, and then you just place the W here somewhere. You E over, and it's even easier to get into the range there than it's here. Like, I've gotten so many kills like this. Also, very good engage angles just from here, or is the same, of course, here. You know that you can E over this wall, right? Some people don't know.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, like this is a very good, like just W here, E over. You don't even really need the rocket belt for this one. It's kind of close. I guess you also probably know that you can E over this wall. It's a bit difficult sometimes, but you just need to really walk at the wall. This is definitely kind of useful. Yes, yeah, I fucked it up because I wasn't standing at the wall correctly. You need to, I think, no, I will not fuck it up. Yeah, you really need to stand at the wall. You can also E over these walls. It's not super useful most of the time, but it's good to know, I guess. I mean, for example, for stealing Nash or whatever, it can be good because a lot of people expect you to be around here.
Yeah,
and then if you walk, oh fuck, yeah, I mean, there's been more than one game where I fucked it up also, so it happens. But I've seen like really good Koreans fuck it up as well, so that's comforting. It happens to the best as well. So yeah, and I guess the combos, I think you do them alright, but they can definitely be a little bit smoother. Just the way you throw out the abilities. Just I don't know. But you will, of course, you will simply get better by playing the game more. It will just happen automatically. But the EW one is a big one, right? You didn't even know. It's just imagine
I
chasing.
didn't know about that one.
It makes a difference, definitely. I guess like, and then the rocket belt combo. Just the big thing about that is that you can proc you're kind of resetting your auto attack timing, so you can proc the passive right away. And oftentimes people won't react.
Even if it doesn't hit, like
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah,
You're not
you mean
hitting
you mean the rocket belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, now it's 280 damage. And now okay, never mind. Wait. I actually did it once where it did, but the thing is, in reality, see now it counted. In reality, people won't stand still like this, so it won't even look like this, right? Like against real enemies. And also, it doesn't matter if all of them hit or just one, it always deals the same amount of damage.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you just need to deal one, it doesn't matter. But in reality, it will never look like this. Like, I've never had it happen where they flew behind all of them. It's just because it's a target dummy that's standing still. Yeah, also one thing that I saw you didn't really use, especially you can use when clearing the jungle, is just the E auto attack reset, right? Like this, where you auto attack and then E, because you don't have that much attack speed, it definitely makes a difference. And when you're fighting enemies, I think especially you're playing Lichbane, right? Most games recently, at least. So especially,
Well, yeah, I didn't try and get out.
yeah, especially with the Lichbane build, it matters a lot doing the auto attack resets well, because you're not able to auto attack that much naturally because of that attack speed. Yeah. Is there anything else? I don't really know. I guess, yeah, here, like, for example, with the Raptors, just the Q, right? Just throw it from here. So now they're all hit, you know, and then you do this. You attack them. I think now the passive goes away. Okay, I didn't attack the big one. That was obviously a mistake, but yeah. Then with the Crux, that's something you did, of course, with the just clearing them while running away, right? So you don't auto attack the small ones. That's definitely something I did wrong for a long time, clearing, like auto attacking the small ones. But that wastes a lot of time. So I'll always do the small ones while running away. And in general, sometimes I feel like you weren't really hitting your abilities on the camps, right? Just make sure you always hit the abilities with your Q, like the return Q and the other Q as well. I guess I can do the full jungle clear as well. Where can you reset the game? Just to see, like, your jungle clearing was completely fine, but it can be a bit better. And also the spacing, as I said. The way you like really see, if it would be a normal game, it would be like at 126 and then you walk in like this, and then you were walking back a bit too far, you know. Like you just need to walk back like this. Just you want to pull the camp in the direction of the next camp always. So it's just saving a bit of time, of course, but you don't need to walk back too far. Of course, if you get a leash, you won't drop low at all, and you will usually have the W up at the same time that you're gonna clear the next camp. But yeah, see, the reason you want to smite this is just because now, as you will see in a second here, so now I attack this one, they're all popping at the same time, and then you just throw the Q back, and it's very smooth. Then see, now the timing, as I said, right, your abilities are not up, so that's where you just auto attack them, pull them together, and then you keep clearing normally. Yeah, and now at this time while walking, usually you should definitely look at the lanes, see if there's anything to gank. Right now, as I said, if you want to gank top, you just go here, you take the plant, you just keep clearing, then of course here also you only need to attack the small ones once and proc the passive and they will die passively, right? You don't need to waste any more autos on them. And then here with your E, you always do the auto attack reset. Just use your abilities while clearing the jungle, right? There's no reason not to use it. It will make the clearing faster, and there's just simply no reason not to use them. And it's important, of course. Like, the higher the yield, the more important this kind of stuff becomes. Of course, the most important stuff for you to focus on is definitely just starting to clear from the right sides and whatever, so you're on the right side of the map at the right time, but it's good to know about this, of course. Well, also I usually smite the Gromp when I do full clear, because, I don't know, it doesn't make a huge difference if you smite the blue or the Gromp, it's whatever, but yeah. Right. So you don't have any other questions, or did maybe something come up now?
So regarding the uh Lichbane
Mm-hmm.
and the Shadow, what is it? Shadow Frost, Shadow Flame, that
Shadow
the
Flame, yeah.
other. Though you said to go that with when I'm building Lichbane,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah,
okay,
it's just the
as
most
like a third
burst.
item, like over is
No,
third
no,
or fourth
no.
item.
No, like as last item, I guess, yeah.
Okay,
So like
all
after
right,
Rabadons, usually.
okay, Rabadons.
Let me just see, maybe I can even find the game where I built it. I mean,
And
only if you don't need void stuff, right? Only if you don't need void stuff, of course. Yeah, actually, if you
which
don't.
would be like what when people have over 60 MR?
I don't know, yeah, but as I said also in my itemization video, like in a lot of games you still don't really need void stuff because your targets are not gonna build MR, but yeah, of course, like the later the game goes, the more valuable void stuff also becomes because of base MR and that stuff. So yeah, it's just very dependent on the games, I guess, but Shadow Flame is definitely a very good item, especially with that build. Here, let me show you. Let me show you really quick also. This game, for example. I went Shadow Flame. I think it was even the one I showed in the video as well, the example. together with
See,
Lichbane.
okay, I can see it now.
You see, I think yeah, here I snowballed really hard, so I was able to buy the Rabadons, and then I built Magi's, and then last item Shadow Flame, and it definitely feels very good. I know, that was actually a game I played yesterday. But see, yeah, here I was also starting to build it with the alternator. Yeah, it's the most burst, simply. That's how it is. And Lichbane is all about burst, and Nash's is more about just having a bit more DPS, I guess, and more being able to fight a bit more.
And that Q start, the Raptor start.
Ah, yeah, I can show you that. I can show you that. I mean, it's not super special
You
either,
literally just
but
go
it's good.
Q red and then Crux.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And then, but then the important thing is to not go for a gank if you can't, right? Like, okay, I will show you in game, I guess, because then you can really see what I mean.
So you said you wouldn't go for a gank.
Most of the time, no, because if you go for a gank, I mean, in your elo you probably won't get punished, but in higher elos, then the enemies see you on bot or whatever, and then they will simply invade you, and it's quite bad for you unless you get kills. But I will show you like at what line or whatever I would go for a gank. So it's... Well, actually, I really recommend you to try this path. It has been very good for me, and it also it helps you get good gank timings. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna try it out.
See, like when you can just start Q here. Ekko is very good at doing this clear. A lot of junglers have AoE. Like you can only do this with junglers that have AoE abilities. But you know, you just do this. You clear these camps. I usually don't smite the red, I smite the Crux here as well. So this takes some time, but it just doesn't matter. And the biggest upside of this, in my opinion, is the fact that your team doesn't need to leash you. So the enemies also don't have any info on where you started. So like obviously in higher elos it's worth more even than in low elos, but even in low elos of course
Yeah.
it's good that your lanes don't need to leash, right? So now is usually the time when I look bot, like when I really look bot, and unless the enemies are above this line and they already fought, right? Unless they're low or anything, I will just recall here and buy a Dark Seal, because as you can see, I have... Okay, it's because I don't have passive generation because it's not 130 yet. But usually you will have 350 gold. Just trust me on this. You will have 350 gold, and then you can buy a Dark Seal. And yeah, so don't gank here unless the enemies are like around here, and they're really low. Like they have to be very free for you to really gank. And then you will come
Okay.
out of base here, and what will happen most of the time is that the enemy top will be here usually, but they will be very unexpected. Like you will come out of base and they won't have this warded, and they probably fought a bit, so you can gank them for free, and you can do the same thing here, right? You can just clear here, recall, and then go bot, and it's a very good gank timing. And on top lane, by the way, also if I'm doing it on this side, it's even less likely that I will gank, right? Like on top lane, it's on bot you can at least get 2 kills theoretically, and on top you can only get 1, and it just won't happen most of the time. So yeah, just recall in 90% of the games, I would say, if you do this. And then also like the important thing, I guess, first of all, if you do this and you come out of base with a Dark Seal, your first thing should always be to look for a gank, in my opinion. But don't clear your jungle. Usually, see if you can gank top, see if you can gank mid, because you will notice you will have good timings for it. Trust me. And then after going for the gank, you just start clearing from the grump, blue thing, and your bot save will be up again. And it's a very nice line again,
Okay.
you know. And the respawn timers are very good. You will see it. Like I've been doing this pathing every single game recently, and it just felt so good. Like I think overall with this path, I probably have like 75-80% win rate. It's very strong. And also really just because your enemies have no info and your laners are not really like you're in some lanes it really makes such a difference if your laners have to leash, you know? Like it can really fuck them over if you force them to leash. So it definitely helps also in a lot of matchups. So definitely try that out. I will also, as I said, I will make a video just explaining most of the stuff that I told you here as well. And maybe
Okay.
show also examples. But yeah, definitely try that out. At first I thought it was more of a high elo pathing, but I think it works in every elo. It's just a very good path. And I've seen more and more junglers do it as well. Like on a lot of jungles you can do it. A lot of champs that have AoE abilities like Kayn or whatever, he can do it well. Belveth can do it well. You know, like Fiddle probably. Just looking at
Yeah,
the champs
Fiddle
here.
Fiddle
Yeah,
can do
Zac
like a bunch of
probably.
champs, a bunch of camps at once.
Yeah, it just depends. For example, on Kayn, it's not that valuable because you can't buy a Dark Seal. But I think, for example, on Zac or something, I could also see it be very good. I think actually on Zac it could be very good because Zac is also a champ that can gank very well from the wall there. Yeah, definitely interesting. But it's a very good pathing, and the only reason you can do it this season is because you can like every 3 camps you clear, you get level 3 from them, right? And that didn't used to be the case. But now I think now all the camps they give the same amount of XP, so you can always clear like any 3 camps and you get level 3. So that's why it's allowed to do it. Okay. So you have any more questions or
No, I think we went over a lot of things.
yeah, for sure.
So
Okay. Right, so I will stop the recording then.